Well, hello, YouTubers. This is Brother D. Cruz, your Life Applications Officer, coming at you with another video. Um, a video where I would like to try to help black folks uh, this evening. It's late, but I'm going to do this video anyhow. It's late here in Pittsburgh. But I'm going to do this video because this week I'm starting work like in the middle of the day, like in the early afternoon. I'm starting work at noon. Takes me an hour and a half to get to work because I'm riding through the city. I got to take the bus, and I get to work, and then people are using this time to catch up on some things that they can't do when the students are there. So therefore, I have to stick around, and I don't get home till 10, 11 o'clock at night. You know, 9:30 at the earliest, because I'm not there for me. I'm there for the people. Amen. Anyway, I had to do this video today. Um, I had to do this because uh, I read a article in the newspaper today at work about a shooting. Another young teenage black kid getting shot in what you might call the black community, or what you might call the ghetto. Young kid got shot in one of the Pittsburgh ghettos, black communities. As I said before, I don't believe in the black community. There's really no such thing as a black community. The so-called black community is really communities that were left to black people because they don't want to get up on their high feet and evolve and try to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get into that. Um, First of all, I don't believe that black people. I believe. First of all, let me say this. Okay. First of all, let me say this. I personally believe that there is a demonic. I know I'm going to say this is very controversial, and I'm going to say this um, on a personal level between me and my subscribers, commentators, whatever. This is between me and my channel. This is not for church. I'm not going to preach this in church. But the first thing I want to say before I get into my notes is I do believe, I really honestly believe, and this comes from a Bible study that I was involved in many, many, many years ago. And we went through a scripture treasury on this. I honestly, seriously believe with all my understanding that the black community, if that's what you insist on calling it, is oppressed by the devil. I know that sounds quacky, that sounds crazy, but I really believe that. I believe it's a spirit entity that is using everything from slavery of the past all the way to rap music and swag and whatever black women are telling themselves about their hair and all these different things. I believe there's a spirit entity involved that is plaguing the black community, that is oppressing black folks. That's not even number one. That's just the beginning of it all. Now, number one, I don't believe that black folks, if we want to keep from getting shot, how do these young kids get shot? How are young kids that you claim are getting ready to go to college or getting ready to become a minister in church? This kid that got shot just rededicated his uh, self to ministry in the church. But when they talk about the shooting, they say that his body was found at a house. They didn't say it was his house that his body was found at. They just said that he was there and someone shot the place up and they killed him. They made sure he was dead when they killed him. I really believe that black folks need to quit worrying about black folks. I know this sounds really, really off, but I really do. The hell with black folks. Really. Stop trying to live with them. Stop trying to stay in these communities, these ghettos. Worry about yourself and your children. Get yourself out of there. Go live somewhere else. No one's going to hate you or you're not becoming less black if you get yourself away from this ghetto-fied nonsense. Didn't get sniffles till I started doing this video. I was fine all day until I decided to do this video, and then all of a sudden, here they come. Anyway, it's April. I'm pretty sure you that are watching, if you're watching this in April of 2017, you got them too. You got the sniffles too. Don't hate. Okay, I'm sorry, but I won't. I tried to wait a week. I didn't do no videos for almost a week, and I thought I was done. I thought, and now they're back. I mean, they're going away, but they're taking their sweet time. Stuffy head, sneezing, congestion, losing channels in my ears, can't hear. It's miserable. It's a miserable state to be in. As much as I love April, this is a miserable state to be in. Anyway, you need to be honest with yourself, black folks. Stop trying to act like it's okay, that we'll be okay. No, we won't. We're not going to be okay. It's not okay. You have to abandon the idea of this concept of black folks sticking together, because that's what got this kid shot. That's what got the kid shot. Black folks always thinking they got to stick together regardless of their disagreements. White folks don't stick together when they don't agree. Spanish people don't stick together when they don't agree. This kid coming up in church had somewhere to disagree with these people. But yet, he kept on trying to be. And you know what? When I read the paper, I realized that everybody knew this kid. That's the answer to everything right there. Why? In the black community, everybody knows this kid? Let me tell you something. Don't nobody know me but my next door neighbor. And that's only because we got the same landlord. You can go out here to the street and you can ask people that I say hi to every single day. They do not know my name. They ain't got no business knowing my name. I don't want to know every black person in this neighborhood. I don't want everybody knowing me like I'm some kind of celebrity. And I ain't going to nobody's cookout. I'm not going to be no shooting victim at no cookout. Like we get in a lot we get in a lot of the papers around here. Okay? I'm not going to go through it. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to understand and be honest about the state of black folks in America. Quit acting like blacks don't have a problem, because they do. I can get on any bus. I can go in any store. I can walk down any street. The way black people, just by the way they talk, lets you know he ain't got no job. He don't work nowhere. Just by the way they talk, lets you know that they weren't brought up the right way. Like them two boys I mentioned in a couple videos ago about, them two young black men. Okay? They were about 14 years old. Got on the bus talking about, their body parts. And there's women, grown women, and their little children sitting right there. They didn't care. The state of black people in America. And I'm not saying all us black folks, because I'm not wearing these shoes. If the shoe fits, wear it. But I'm talking to those that wear the shoes. This is the problem. Every black person has a relative, has plenty of neighbors and friends who are wearing these shoes. It's not there for all of us to see it. Come on now. That's the difference between white culture and black culture, so to speak. White folks can fool each other. But if you let black folks fool you, you're just a big fool. Because just listen to him talk. Just watch how he acts in public. Just look at his dress code. He's not somebody you want to be hanging with. But we brothers. We brothers, as black folks. We gotta stick together, man. We gotta stick together. This is our hood. This is our neighborhood, This is our hood. Like in that Steven Seagal movie, Execution something. I forget what it was called. But, Rhymes, I forget what his first name is. His last name is Rhymes. He's a good actor, a very good black actor. But he kept saying that all through the movie. He was a gangster that got out of prison and went back into the gangster life with his old behind. He was like, "This our hood, this our neighborhood." You know, he was a funny dude in this movie. Though I had to give him credit because he made me laugh. He's like, "This our hood, it's our neighborhood. That's our hood." You need to understand the state of black people and quit denying it. You need to run from it. I'm not saying hate your own family. I'm not saying hate anybody. I'm not saying treat black folks like they ain't part of you. What I'm saying is you need to accept that the state of black folks is different than anybody else in America. You need to quit thinking that you can be friends with anybody, that you can kick it with anybody. Not if they're black, you can't. So the first thing is you need to be honest with yourself about the state of black folks in America. Second thing, don't make friends in the hood. Make friends that are more calm, collective, more educated, and more sophisticated than you. Okay? Make friends that are more educated, calm, collective, cool, sophisticated, educated than you. Hang out with people that are better than you. They got better minds than you. They're smarter than you. They act more sophisticated than you. They dress better than you. And I'm not talking about they look cool in their swag. I'm talking about they wear clothes that don't line up with the ghetto. They don't play the part. They try to be separate from that nonsense. Those are the kind of friends you want to make. And usually, if you're making friends like that, 9 out of 10, they're not from the hood. They're not from the ghetto that you live in. Okay? You need to know people, number 3, by their heart and their integrity, not their personality. It's the same personality that's getting all these black girls pregnant. Don't be fooled by that. Okay, all these black girls should know by now. They laying up with these thug boys, okay, who keep coming after more and more and more. Just keep coming back for more. But who's taking care of this kid? Who's taking care of these kids? Who's taking care of all 7 kids? Not daddy 1, not daddy 2, not daddy 3. And guess what? Daddy 1, daddy 2, and daddy 3, they out there hanging out there together laughing at the fact that they humping all these girls and getting them pregnant. Know a man's heart. Don't worry about his personality. Worry about his heart. Worry about his integrity. His integrity is face value. You know, his integrity is where's he go to church at? What kind of person? How seriously of a church of a man of God is he? This kid went to church, but that didn't keep him of that didn't keep him from hanging out with the wrong crowd, and he got shot for it. He got killed dead for it. Only know a man, a boy, by his integrity in his heart. Make sure that he has a heart of love and a heart of ambition. And I don't mean ambition to see how many guns he can collect or how much weed he can get and share it. I'm talking about ambition to succeed in life. And number 4, don't move into the black community in the first place. If you don't live in the black community, don't move into it in the first place. 1987, I left Homewood, Pennsylvania. Homewood, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I left the Homewood section of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which was a ghetto. The same guy that was harassing me, okay, and couldn't beat me in a karate match, attacked my uncle and mugged him and took his KFC. Welcome to the hood. And then all these people that I grew up with, in and out of jail. I had enough. And then I had some issues in the family. I'm not at liberty to go into detail with that at the time. There were some issues in the family bothering me, not to mention my mother was dead, my dad was dead, my grandmother was dead. I felt like I didn't have a side of the family anymore. You know, basically my side of the family wasn't even there. So I left, set out on my own. I hate to say it, but that's when life began. Not that I don't appreciate my family, because like I said in another video, I have a beautiful family, especially now. I have a beautiful family. My aunt's side of the family is a beautiful family. But at that time, I just didn't feel like I belonged. And me leaving was the beginning of life. And like I said, you know, not only growing up in McKeesport, and this kid got shot in McKeesport. I'm talking about when McKeesport was booming with culture, charisma, and business. Culture, charisma, and business. And by the time I was a teenager, it started, Bloods and Crips were in McKeesport, and there was shootings every day, and drugs, and all that kind of thing. So many different things. And I just wanted to get away. I wanted to get away from it all. And when I left, that was the beginning of life for me. I've never been the same since. Not to mention, while I was there, the people that I looked up to weren't black people. I'm sorry. I apologize to my family, my church, which was all black, and all the black people I knew in Homewood, Pittsburgh. But the thing is, I did not look up to black folks. I didn't. I did not look up to any of them. Maybe, I had some cousins that I looked up to because they had good jobs, and my one cousin Tree, she's dead. She was an accountant, and she traveled. She traveled, and I took care of her kids while she traveled, and so I looked up to her for that. She traveled. She drove a sports car. She, she had a good. She had a pretty decent check back then. A pretty decent income. But she died. Um, but I mean, like I said, there were some people in my family, and I've had some friends that I looked up, but the majority of it, I did not look up to black folks. The people that I looked up to were not from Pittsburgh. They were not from any ghetto of Pittsburgh. They were from Waynesburg, Altoona, Allentown, Uh, I think Hershey, Bedford, um, Camp Hill. They were from predominantly white, middle class neighborhoods that didn't waste time on ghettofied nonsense. These were neighborhoods where black folks would go in there and they were always outnumbered by white culture. They couldn't really get in there like they could in Pittsburgh and act a fool. And so they would either shape up and ship out and get it together in these neighborhoods, or they would leave and move somewhere like Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, Reading, Pennsylvania, somewhere like that, where the population was more black. You know, um, my white friends did not. They were not ghettofied people at all, in any way, shape, or form. They were, matter of fact, all of them went to college. All of them went to college. They're all married to wealthy men and women today. They're very sophisticated people. These are the people that I looked up to. I did not look up to my black counterparts. Not because I'm putting black people down or trying to be white or anything of that nature, or trying to be an Uncle Tom or nothing like that, but because I'm just being honest with myself. Okay? If I have a sickness and a white person has the blood count that I need to heal, I'm not going to deny that white person is my healing just because I'm black. And I don't want to give credit to the white side. I'm not going to do that. If it takes a white person to help me be successful, to help me to rise above my ghetto situation, that's the direction I'm going. Okay? Just like, if you were sick. I remember one time I was out of asthma medication. And a white friend of mine gave me the same inhaler that he was puffing off of. And we shared his inhaler. We were both having asthma. We both shared his inhaler. He'd puff and then he'd take like some peroxide or something and wipe off the tip. I puff and then, he wiped tip off with the peroxide again. Back and forth. But, we shared his inhaler. He was the only one out of all them people that was struggling with asthma. He was able to help me. I don't have time to play sides. There's no time for that. Don't move into the black community in the first place. If you're going to have kids, don't raise your kids in the black community. That's what's wrong with these kids getting shot. That's why this 14-year-old boy was shot again. Another 14-year-old boy shot down in the street again. On his own front porch or on some friend of his front porch. Because you need to stop raising your kids in a black community. If you find yourself pregnant, move. Do not raise your kids in no black community. Do not raise your kids to go to no public school. Take them out of there. One of the reasons why my cousins that I used to raise turned out so good. And you know how I feel about the Catholic Church. But my girls that I raised, Keisha and Mimi, they went to a private school. It was Catholic, you know, the Holy Rosary, whatever school. It was Catholic, but they went to a private school. They didn't go to Westinghouse. Or, you know, their mom didn't want them going to them schools. They went to, I believe they went to I have to ask them, but I think they went to a private high school too. They didn't go to them ghetto-fied public schools where all the gang banging and beating up and raping teachers and all that kind of nonsense is going on, and drugs and graffiti all over the walls, and you got to have armed guards, you know, armed guards, wall to wall armed guards protecting the school. They didn't go to no school like that. Got to pass a metal detector before getting into the school. They didn't go to that. They didn't go to Peabody. They didn't go through that. Don't raise your kids in the black so-called community. Don't raise your kids in the ghetto. And last but not least, leave those kind of neighborhoods. If you live in the ghetto, if you live in the so-called black community, which doesn't really exist, leave for the sake of your children, for the sake of you trying to get ahead in life, for the sake of you not having to look out your window or sit on your porch and see nonsense every day. Quit telling yourself you have to stay in these communities, because you don't. You need to meet some of these black folks that have decided that they needed to get away from black folks. And it's not because they are trying to be Uncle Toms or hate their own. But they understand that there is a very spiritual problem with black America. And like me, they don't want no parts of it. And it's been my blessing that I did not try to engage myself deeper into the black community when I seen that there were some issues there. No, I went after the people that I could look up to. And I didn't worry about what color they were. When I was in Job Corps, I had friends of all races. And some of them, they thought I was an idiot because black guy trying to be friends with a Vietnamese guy, let's beat him up. You know, they were like that. They didn't, you know, you think that black folks are the only ones that want a race war? No, it's not true. It's not true at all. But the best way to close a race war is when you see people don't, like you, give them their space. So I gave the people their space. But I tell you what, out of all the whites and Vietnamese and Spanish people that I tried to be friends with, none of them laid their hands on me. None of them threatened me. It was my own people, black folks, that always had me up against the wall, threatening to beat the snot out of me. The Vietnamese guy, he wanted to show me that he knew better karate than me. So he hit me in the nose with an open hand, and I chased him down the hallway, and that was the end of it. And then my black friend had to beat him up. And another Vietnamese had to pull him off of him. And I'm thinking, hold up, dude, the kid was playing, man. We were just playing. We're just sticking our chests out at each other. There ain't no reason for you to make a race war out of it, brother. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way it is, and that's the way people are. And the only thing you can do is run. 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 Get out of those communities. Quit telling yourself you have to hang in there with black people, because you don't. Nobody is going to like you any better because you hung there. No one's going to like you any less because you didn't. Stop telling yourself the devil's lie. You see an issue. If you went into a white neighborhood and white folks was shooting black folks up, you'd move, wouldn't you? Oh, but when black folks do it, it's different because they're black? So you're just going to let them keep shooting you up? Think about that for a minute. Until next time, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Please let me know what you think. Don't just leave it blank. Let me know what you think, even if you know I'm not going to agree with it. But watch what you say. Put something there that won't get deleted, if you know what I mean. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.